What's going on, guys? It's your boy Mayo Jones here, back at with another video, and this time we'll be doing our Week 10 predictions for this week. Now, last week I went 8-6, which I did pretty good, and then overall record is 81-53, which that's pretty good. And we got the Bengals, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, and the Titans on a bye this week. So yeah. So basically, we're getting things started here. But before I give you my Week 10 predictions, don't forget to feel free to put the thumbs up, to like the video, subscribe to my channel for more options, and comment down your opinion below to see who you got winning Week 10. So basically, I chose the Broncos to win 20-17, and they won 10-7, which that was like the most sloppiest game I ever seen in my life. So let's get started with the rest of the games. So we got the Atlanta Falcons playing against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, this game is not in Indianapolis. The game is in Germany. Now, as we all know, the Colts are 6.5-point favorites against them. Now, I can see this game going either way. Now, the Falcons so far have not been looking like a good team so far. Like, trust me, like they have not looked good, especially on offense for the past couple of weeks. Like, they nearly cannot run the ball. They can't throw. Like, their offense is not playing as good, but the defense is playing a lot better, though, which I thought they could have beat the Patriots, though. But here's the thing. They're ranked fourth in total defense, and they're ranked first in pass defense, which they have one of the best pass defenses in football because they blitz really good, and they can get after them and all that, and they don't give a lot of big plays. But I feel like, if the Colts, if they can find a way to beat this Falcons defense, they have a chance here because the Falcons are kind of more like a smaller defense because they give us so many big plays. Like, they can't stop the run really well. Like, yeah, but I think this Colts offense should be able to overpower them because they have a strong offensive line that can really block. And they got Jonathan Taylor, who's the best running back who can run the football. And they pretty much got some Colts got some weapons on offense that can really beat you, like Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, Tyler Warren. Like, they got some weapons on offense that can really rip up any defense like Atlanta. But Atlanta's secondary is pretty good, but they give up a lot of big plays. But as I look at the Colts injury report, and especially the Colts defense, it's pretty solid. They do got some injuries. Buchanan is out. DeForest Buckner has a neck injury. He's placed on IR. I don't know how serious that is. Ward has a concussion. Mike Hilton's out. And then Kenny Moore is dealing with an Achilles. So they got injuries on defense. And the Falcons so far are dealing with some injuries on defense as well, like Leonard Floyd. Mike Hughes is questionable to play. We already know Leonard Floyd already ruled him out. Chris Lancer is questionable with a foot injury. I don't know how serious that is. But if the Falcons are dealing with some injuries on the offensive line, it's probably going to be tough for them to run the ball because I feel like with an injured offensive line, like some backup offensive linemen against this Colts defense is going to be a problem because Big Lou is a really good defense coordinator. And all of a sudden, and the Colts offense, I think they'll get back on track, after a bad performance against the Steelers where they had 6 turnovers. And I think Daniel Jones and this Colts get back on track because what I'm seeing for the Falcons, they're not a good team right now, and they're on a losing streak right now. So I'm going to take the Colts to win this game. I'll take the Colts to cover, but I think it's going to be close, though. I'm probably going to say 27-23, 23-20, something like that. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think the Falcons do enough to keep it close in this game. I think they'll find a way to move the ball, control the game, and all of a sudden they'll keep up and all that. If the Falcons can show up, I think they keep this game close. But so I'll take the Colts to win. I'll take the Colts to cover. They're the more complete team and have the better coaching staff as well. So yeah. So that's pretty much why I got the Colts winning. Next game, we have the New York Giants against Chicago Bears. The Bears are 4.5 favorites against the Giants. The Bears are coming off an impressive win against the Bengals. And the Giants are coming off of a double-digit loss against the 49ers. Now, as I like to see about the Bears, now the Bears so far, they have looked pretty good on offense last week. Like they were running the ball, they were throwing the ball. Like they were like Caleb Williams played like really good though. Because when he has a run game, he's pretty good. When he doesn't, I mean, he's just not good. Because I thought they really found a way to run the ball without They found a way to run the ball without DeAndre Swift with no problem. They found a way to do it with no problem without DeAndre Swift. They did it with their backup running back, which I don't know who that is. So, yeah. So, their offense should be healthy right now because right now the Bears got the fourth best offense in football. And, their offensive line is playing really good, but their defense right now is playing. But, their defense is not really good. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. But somehow they still found a way to beat the Bengals, especially with that Colston Loveland touchdown as well. So, yeah. And also on top of that, the Giants, have not been looking pretty good, especially on offense and on defense as well, because we know the Giants cannot stop the run. They cannot stop the pass. I think the Bears offense should have success there, but it could be a little bit of an offensive game because if Jackson Dart starts to go on a hot start, then I think the Giants find a way to – the Giants could totally keep this game close, and the Giants could totally pull off an upset because right now, without Scatterboo, they can't run the football. So now they have to go lead on their backup running back in Tyrone Tracy, which I don't think the Giants are going to be able to run the ball effectively. So if the Bears defense can hold up, I think they'll find a way to win. So basically, I think this game right here could be close. It could be a high-scoring game, but I'm going to take the Bears to win. I'll probably take the Bears to cover as well. I can see the Giants covering, but what I'm seeing, the Giants are not a good team, and the Giants, they stink all of a sudden like that. Like, their playoff chances could be over, and it could be playing for next year, while the Bears, they're looking to clinch a playoff spot as well. Like, their playoff hopes are alive right now, so I think the Bears are going to win this game. I think the Bears win. They pretty much are the better, more complete team, have the better quarterback. And I think Ben Johnson is a really good run schemer, and he'll find a way to at least scheme some things up against a weaker against a Giants defense that's weak. So, I mean, I think he'll find a way to at least scheme up some things against a Giants defense that's weak. So, Ben Johnson should have a good game from like he did against the Bengals. Especially, that was a bad Bengals defense that they played. But now they're playing against a Giants defense that stinks. But the Giants do have a great pass rush, though, which they could give the Bears offense some problems. But we've seen the Giants defensive line struggle against offensive lines that can block. And I feel like the Bears O-line can do a good job, controlling that. So I think the Bears win. I think the Bears cover. I think the Bears can I think they'll put up 30 points. Maybe they win a 30 to 24, 31-24, something like that. So yeah, I'll take the Bears to win. I'll take the Bears to cover. All right, next game. We have the Buffalo Bills against the Miami Dolphins. The Bills are 8.5-point favorites against the Dolphins. As we all know, the Bills are dealing with some injuries, though. Josh Palmer's questionable with the knee injury. Defense suffering some injuries like Tyron Johnson. He has a groin injury. Daquan Jones has a calf injury. Christian Benford has a groin. AJ Epinesa is out due with the concussion, and Shaq Thompson's out with the concussion. They just put Ed Oliver, their best D tackle, on IR, so he's going to be out for at least a while. So the Bills do have some injuries on defense, which the question is, can the Dolphins find a way to run the ball against this injured Bills defense? We'll see, but the Bills have been finding ways to win despite the injuries that the Bills have on defense. I mean, the Bills have been finding ways to win, especially with their injuries. I did hear news that James Cook did not practice the other day, but he was in full practice due to injury, but he is playing. And now I feel like with James Cook out there, I feel like the Bills, they're going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball against against this Dolphins defense that cannot stop the run. But the Dolphins, their pass defense has improved a little bit, but they cannot stop the run. I think James Cook's going to have all day, and I think Josh Allen's going to have all day to throw the ball as well. So, yeah. So, I think the Bills, I like how the way they did against the Chiefs. They game planned really well. The defense played really well. The offense found a way to move the ball, and they stayed balanced. And I feel like the Dolphins, from what I'm seeing, they're like not a good team. Like they just lost to a Ravens team by like a lot. And I know they're coming off a Thursday game, but at the same time, and I know it's in Miami again, but at the same time, I'm taking the Bills to win. I think they're gonna sweep the season series. I picked them to win last time they did, and last time they played, the Bills won by double digits. Now the game could be a lot closer, which I wouldn't be shocked if this game was close. But if Miami can find a way to at least like not start the game off sloppy, I think they have a chance to keep it close. But at the same time, the Bills, I pretty much think the Bills are just a more complete team, and they have the better quarterback and coaching staff. They have more to play for, since they have a better chance to make the playoffs. And the Dolphins, they're probably looking to play in for next year because they look like a rebuilding team right now because they just traded Jalen Phillips. And I feel like without Jalen Phillips, I feel like Josh Allen and this Bills offense should be able to find a way to move a ball against them. So, yeah, so basically, I'll take the Bills to win, and I'll take the Bills to cover. I think the Bills are probably going to score in the 30s, maybe in the 40s. Who knows? I'm probably going to say, and especially the Bills defense playing good, I think the Bills will probably win maybe like a 34-23 or like 34-27, something like that. So, yeah, so I'll take the Bills to win. I'll take the Bills to cover because they're just a more desperate team and more to play for as well. And the Dolphins, we know they ain't going nowhere. So, yeah, that's pretty much why I got the Bills winning. All right, next game. We have the Baltimore Ravens against the Minnesota Vikings. The Ravens are 4.5-point favorites against the Vikings. Now, this looks like a purple bowl to me because both purple teams are playing against each other. Now, as we want to see, the Vikings did come off a win against the Lions, which I didn't expect that to happen, but they found a way to do it. And the Ravens are coming off of a Thursday night game and have 10 days to prepare, especially coming off a win against the Dolphins. Now, this game right here can totally go either way. Now, the Vikings, they pretty much have a good defense. And I thought their defense did a really good job, keeping the Lions offense on their toes. Like, Brian Flores was sending blitzes. Like, he found a way to confuse Jared Goff and all that. Now, the question is, can he do that against Lamar? We don't really know. Because the Ravens, offense is really good when Lamar is out there. But the Ravens, have looked pretty good, though, because they can run the football. They can throw the football. Lamar Jackson had a really good game, though. And I just really think that, the Ravens defense, we know it's not good, but they look good against, the Dolphins. And we know J.J. McCarthy, he's really not good against defenses that are good. But I think the Vikings are probably going to move the ball in this game and probably will because, he has great receivers around him like Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hockenson. Like, the Vikings offense, I think they'll find a way to at least, move the ball, and I think they'll find a way to at least, move the ball and against this Ravens defense that's not good. And I think they will, though, because we know the Ravens, even when they're healthy, their secondary always struggle to cover, and, they always get smoked in the secondary. So, I think the Vikings offense can stay balanced, and I think the Ravens offense can stay balanced, too, because I thought they can get after the Vikings secondary as well, because if Brian Flores, if he tries to be too aggressive, I think Lamar Jackson can make him pay, because I feel like Lamar Jackson can see the field really well because he knows which guy is open, which guy is not. And the Vikings don't really have a lot of good corners, though, that can really play some man against the Ravens receivers. I think Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, and DeAndre Hopkins and Mark Andrews have a good game here. And the Vikings' run defense has not been playing really good lately. I think the Ravens should be able to run the ball against them. So, yeah. And so I felt the Ravens, what I think they can do, just play some man coverage against the receivers, and you can just stop the run. That's all you got to do, because the Vikings' run game has not been good lately. And the Vikings' offense is really not good. So, I'm going to take I think it's going to be close, but I'm going to take the Ravens to win. But I'm going to take the Vikings to cover, because I think the Vikings could do enough, on defense, to at least, get after Lamar and blitz him. I think they'll find a way to do enough on that side of the ball to do that on defense. So yeah, and especially, I think the Ravens so far, which I think their defense can do enough to rattle McCarthy and make him uncomfortable and all that in the pocket, which I think they can, though. So, yeah, I mean, if the Ravens find a way to do those things, they'll win. If they can beat the Vikings defense, and the defense finds a way to at least get a stop, I think the Ravens will find a way to win this game. But the only way Minnesota can win this game is that if their defense can at least dominate. Because the question is, can the Vikings win if their defense dominates? Sure, but we totally seen Brian Flores give the Ravens offense tons of problems, especially when he was with New England and when he was with Miami. But we can see that happening in Minnesota. We don't know. But I'm going to take the team with the better quarterback and the team which I think is a better team, which is the Ravens. So, yeah, because I felt the Ravens need to win this game if they really want to save their season. So, I'm going to say the Ravens win 30-26 or 26-23, something like that. Maybe it could be a high-scoring game. Who knows? So I'm gonna take the Vikings with the points, but I'll take the Ravens to win the game. Next game, we have the Cleveland Browns against the New York Jets. The Browns are 2.5-point favorites against the Jets. Both these two teams are coming off a bye. Now, this could totally be my trap game of the week. Now, this game right here can totally go either way, because both these two teams are one of the worst teams in football. The Jets just traded two of their best players away the other day, which I don't really know who's gonna win, because I went back and forth and I wanted to pick the Jets to win, because the Jets, they're at home, and we know the Browns defense sucks on the road. But I thought the Browns so far pretty much have a better roster overall, and the Jets, pretty much roster is in shambles, because they traded Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner away. So yeah, that's something you gotta look forward to. And the Jets offensive line is not really good. They're gonna get Garrett Wilson for this game back, but I feel like Denzel Ward and Garrett Wilson is a really good matchup to see. And we know Justin Fields is facing against a Browns defense that's really good, and we know it Fields likes to hold on to the ball so long and take a lot of sacks. So yeah, but I was impressed how the way the Jets looked at against the Bengals. I thought their offense looked pretty good late in the fourth quarter. They were able to throw the ball, they were able to move the ball, and they were able to score. Now, we can see this happening again, which we don't really know, because this Browns defense is really good. But we know the Browns, they have a, they like Jim Schwartz, a really good defense coordinator. I think he'll pick up some blitz packages and find ways to get some pressure, get a 4-man rush on the Jets. I think he'll find a way to do that in this game, especially against a Jets offense that's really bad. So, yeah, basically, this can go either way. I can see it go either way, though, because I can see the Jets win this game. But I think this game right here could totally be a close game. It could be a low-scoring game, because both offenses are, the worst in football, because we know the Jets cannot throw the ball, and we know their run game has been really good. But I don't think the Browns defense – I think the Browns defense will play better in this game. because they're playing against a Jets team that can't throw the football and doesn't have a vertical passing game. So basically, I'm going to take the Browns to win. Like, I'm taking Cleveland to win because they have the more experienced quarterback. They have the better coaching staff. And I think the Browns are just an overall better team than the Jets. So yeah, so basically, I think the Jets find a way. I mean, the Browns find a way to win this game, but I'm gonna take them to cover as well. So maybe I say maybe like they'll score like the mid-20s or like maybe in the 30s, something like that. But I think it's gonna be a lower scoring game. So I'm gonna take the Browns to win. I'll take the Browns to cover. I think the Browns offense has a good game here. And Jerry Jeudy and David Njoku will totally be a problem for that Jets secondary without Sauce Gardner. And I think, the Jets defense, I think they will struggle a little bit in the run game, especially against the Browns, against Quinshon Judkins, because we know the Jets, run defense is not good. So I'm gonna take the Browns to win and cover as well. Next game, we have the New England Patriots against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucks are favorite 2.5 point favorites against the Patriots. The Patriots have been going on a hot streak so far, while the Buccaneers, they're coming off a bye and they're dealing with a lot of injuries. So as I'm looking at the injury report, I'm gonna look to see who's hurt and who's not hurt and who's healthy. Now I heard news. Now Bucky Irvin is out again. Chris Godwin's out again with an injury. Hassan Reddick's out. Now Luke Haggard is questionable to play. Maybe he could play. I don't know. Luke is on IR. Kalijah Kancey's on IR. Mike Evans out is on IR. Cody Mach on IR. So the Bucks are so beat up with a lot of injuries, though. But the Bucks did not look good, especially on offense. But somehow they found a way to beat the Saints in that game. Like, it was just like defensive touchdowns. Like, it was just like a few defensive touchdowns. And all of a sudden, I felt the Bucks, I think they'll find a way. I think their offense will find a way to play better in this game. Now, we know the Patriots' defense has been really good because in terms of the stats, the Patriots have the 8th best defense in football, and they have the best run defense in football too, which I don't think the Bucks are going to be able to run the ball as much, but they're like 20th in passing yards, and the Bucks are 22nd in passing yards. But at the same time, the Bucks got like their offense is like 20th. Like their offense has not been playing good, but the Bucks are good against the run, and Todd Bowles does a really good job doing that, and he does a really good job, with the blitzes and all that, which I think he's gonna like find a way to force like Drake May in some tough situations, which I think he can though, because Drake May and Baker Mayfield are playing like MVPs. But I just don't know if the Patriots going to be able to move the ball successfully against this Bucks defense, even though it's injured. The Bucks should be able to stop the run and load the box. And the Patriots, outside of, Stephon Diggs, I mean, their receiving core is not good. I think they'll find a way to, like, move the ball in this game and score some points, which I think they can. So yeah, so basically, I think this game right here is gonna come down to the wire. I think it could go either way. But what I'm seeing from the Patriots, they're playing good offense right now, and the Bucks are playing good offense too. Because as I look at the Patriots, if their defense, I mean, they're dealing with injuries now. Keyshawn Balt is out, and then Rhamondre Stevenson's out, so they're dealing with some injuries, a little bit of injuries on offense. Because I feel like the defense is a lot healthier than the Bucks, and all of a sudden like that. So yeah, but if the Patriots can find a way to handle the blitz, I think their offense finds a way to beat them. But if the Bucs find a way on offense to show up and move the ball, and this defense find a way to at least contain Drake May, I think they'll find a way to win. So basically, I think it's going to be a fun game to watch, though. I think it's going to be close. But with the Bucs coming off a bye and having like a week to prepare, even despite the injuries they have, I'm going to take the Bucs because the Bucs are at home and I think the Bucs are a more complete team. So, yeah. So, I'm going to take the Bucs to win, but the Patriots to cover. I think 2.5 points. I think the Patriots can find a way to cover that game. I think both teams will score in the mid-20s. I'm going to say like 27-26 or maybe in the 30s, something like that. So, yeah. So, basically, I'm going to take the Bucs to win and the Patriots to cover. All right, next game. We have the New Orleans Saints against Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are 5.5-point favorites against the Saints. Now, the Panthers are coming off a win against the Packers, while the Saints, are coming off of a blowout loss against the Rams. Now, as you all know, I got the Panthers winning because the Panthers are the more complete team and have the better quarterback. And I just think, the Panthers, the Saints, they suck. I mean, they're like one of the worst teams in the league. I mean, their offense is not good. They got bad defense. They don't have no running game. Like, their run game has not been good. And the Panthers do have a better run game as well. Now, the Saints' defense has not been good against the run lately, which I think Rico Dowdle can have another game. Because, the Panthers have, like, one of the best rushing offense in football. But they don't have a vertical passing game. But I feel like the Saints' defense, their defense can play a lot better here. Which I think they can, though. Because we know defense did not look good against the Rams. But I think it'll play a lot better against this Panthers offense that can't throw the football. So yeah, and also on top of that, I just really think that the Panthers defense is playing at a high level right now. So maybe they'll find a way to at least like give the Panthers offense some fits, which I think they can because right now their run defense is starting to get better though. And their pass defense is playing better too. So I thought they found a way to at least like give the Packers offense some fits. I thought their defense played really well against the Packers. I thought they found a way to move the ball against them. They found a way to throw, like stop the run and all that and give the Packers offense some fits. I think they can do that against the Saints too. But I'm not really confident about the Panthers covering this game. And we know the Saints have not been looking good so far. So, basically, I think this game will be close. I don't think it will be a blowout. So, I'm going to take the Panthers to win, but I'll take the Saints to cover. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game than people think because I think both defenses are going to like show up in this game because I don't think both offenses are going to be able to score in the red zone. Because if the Panthers get up early, I think they can blow the Saints out. So yeah, so basically, I'll take the Panthers to win, but the Saints to cover. Maybe they win by a field goal, maybe they win by a touchdown. So yeah, so basically, I'll take either side. I'll take the Panthers one way to win and the Saints one way to cover. And I just don't see the Saints doing much in this game because, the Panthers have more to play for because their playoff hopes are alive right now. And the Saints, they're on the downfall. So, yeah, that's pretty much why I got the Panthers winning. All right, next game, we got the Jacksonville Jags against the Houston Texans. Jacksonville is 1.5-point favorites against the Texans. Jacksonville is coming off a win against the Raiders, and that game where they should have lost, which is the Raiders, where they got into overtime, and the Raiders ended up scoring a touchdown where the Jags almost blew the game. And the Texans are coming off of a brutal loss against the Broncos. Now, the Texans defense is one of the best in football. Now, I thought their defense played really good against the Broncos. Like, they found a way to force the Broncos offense in some tough situations. And I just thought this offense so far of the Texans is not good, but the defense is amazing. Like, they've been playing good on defense. While Jacksonville, their defense is fine, but it's a bit overrated. And the offense is a bit overrated too. Now, we did hear news that Brian Thomas Jr. is out and Travis Hunter is on IR. So now they're going to rely on Jacoby Myers. And then they got Travis Etienne on offense. So basically, that's like almost half of their offense being out. And we already know CJ Stroud, he's out due to the concussion. And now it's going to be Davis Mills. But which I really don't care, because even when Davis Mills was the starter for the Texans, he did beat Jacksonville, which he pretty much did. But I'm going to take the Texans because I think the Texans, they're at home, and I think they pretty much have the better defense. And I think their defense will dominate against this Jags offensive line that can't protect. Trevor Lawrence, I don't think he's pretty much overrated. The Texans can stop the run really good. They can stop the pass really good too. And I just really think that, I just don't really see how the Jags move the ball offensively really well. And I just think the Texans defense can take advantage of that. And I just think, D'Amico Ryans, he's been having good game plans against Jacksonville. Even last time when these two teams played, the game was close. And, and the Jags only lost by 7 points. Now, Texans only lost by 7 points where CJ Stroud threw an interception, which that kind of lost them the game. So, yeah, but I think this time, I think the Texans get it right in this game because I just don't really see how the Texans, lose like 2 straight games in a row. And they really need to win this game. They really want to keep their playoff hopes alive. So I'm going to go ahead and just take the Texans to win because they pretty much need this win. They really want to keep their playoff hopes alive and save their season. Because if they do not win this game, it's over. So this is a must win for Houston. So, yeah, so I'm going to take the Texans straight up. Even though CJ Stroud is out. But it will be close, though. All right, next game. We have the Arizona Cardinals against Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks are 6.5 point favorites against the Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals did come off an impressive win against the Cowboys, while the Seahawks, they came off a blowout win against Commanders. Obviously, I like how the way the Cardinals defense played against the Cowboys. And Jonathan Gannon, the Cardinals, their defense did a really good job, like getting after Dak Prescott, keeping the Cowboys offense on their toe. And Jacoby Brissett played really well against them as well. I thought their offense played really good. Yeah, I really didn't expect that, but they did really good. Now, could they do the same thing against Seattle, who we don't really know, because last time when these two teams played, Seattle did beat them by 3 points. And I just think, the Seahawks, I just really think that I like how the way they're playing on defense right now. Because right now, Seattle, on defense, they can stop the run really good, and they can stop the pass really well too. And, offensively, they're playing really well. They're like a top 10 offense in football. They can't run the ball, but they can throw the ball. But the Cardinals defense, they're they're good against the run, but they're not good against the pass. I think Sam Darnold's going to have all three to throw the ball. And we already know that nobody's going to – we already know that the Cardinals, no one's going to be able to cover Jackson Smith and Jigba because he's been, like, the best receiver that I've ever seen. Like, he's having a breakout season. Cooper Kupp is not going to be covered. They also had Rashid Shaheed. Like, no one's going to cover the Seattle receivers because Seattle, their receivers, they can get open. They can separate, and Sam Darnold will have all day to throw. So yeah, so basically, their offense should have a good game here, but I feel like this game right here could totally be close though. But but what I'm seeing from the Cardinals, I think they can do enough to hang around in this game. So yeah, so basically, I'm gonna take the Seahawks to win, but I'm gonna take the Cardinals to cover because I think the Cardinals can do enough to hang around this game, and I think Seattle's defense will find a way to come to play here because Mike McDonald's a really good defense coordinator and all that, and he does a good job stopping the run because I think their defense. I think they'll find a way to stop the run. I think they'll find a way to stop their passing because they have the pass rush to get after Jacoby Brissett. They have the secondary corners that can cover against Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride. So yeah, so I'll take the Seahawks to win. I'll take the Cardinals to cover because Seattle has more to play for in this game, and the Cardinals don't because they've been falling apart, and Seattle's training up, looking to clinch a playoff berth. So yeah, so I'll take Seahawks to win, the Cardinals to cover. Next game, we have the Detroit Lions against the Washington Commanders. The Lions are 7.5-point favorites against the Commanders. The Commanders, Jayden Daniels is out. Lattimore's out. The Commanders' defense is pretty bad, like it is. We see them get picked apart against the Seahawks, where they couldn't really show up. Like, their defense cannot get a stop, and they almost allowed 40 points to the Seahawks. Like, how would you do that in the first half? Like, giving up almost 30 points. Like, that's crazy. And we know the Lions so far have the better defense so far. And we know their defense right now, they got like the ninth best defense in football. Because they can stop the run, they can stop the pass. Offensively, they're ranked second in points per drive on offense. And we know they have the 12th best passing offense and 9th best running offense in football. We know the Commanders' defense, they can't stop anybody. They have the worst pass defense in football, especially run defense in football. I thought the Lions all day are going to be able to run the ball. They're going to be able to throw the ball. Jared Goff's going to have time. Like, no one's in that Commanders secondary is going to be able to cover Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, and Jameson Williams. Like, the Lions offense, they didn't really do much against the Vikings in this game. Like, the Lions offense could be overrated from a personnel standpoint, but it could be, but it's pretty much not. But the Lions offense did play really well. I think the Lions offense plays a lot better here. They'll probably score in the 30s or maybe in the 40s, something like that, because we know the Commanders' defense has given up a lot of points lately. And we know the Commanders, I don't think they're going to be able to do much offensively because we know Terry McLaurin's out, Deebo Samuel, he can't like separate. And we know now the question is, can Dan Quinn have a good game plan against, this Lions offense? Because the Commanders, they do have two good linebackers like Bobby Wagner and Frankie Luvu. And they got Von Miller as well. Like, we don't know if they're going to be able to do that, though, because Commanders' defense has been struggling lately. And, Lions, they pretty much have, a defense that's better at stopping somebody. And we know the Lions offense, they might be able to move the ball against a bad defense like the Commanders. And we know Cliff Kingsbury, we know he's a good offensive play caller, but at the same time, I just don't really see how the Commanders move the ball consistently very well. The Lions should be able to stop the run, load the box, force them into some mistakes, some bad sacks, turnovers, and stuff like that. And we know Mariota, he's not really good. So it should help the Lions defense find a ways to get stops. So I got the Lions winning. I got the Lions covering. Like, the Lions are a more complete team and have the better quarterback and better coaching staff. Now, the Lions are missing a few players on defense that could be out, but I don't think that's going to hurt really bad. The Lions, I think they're going to put up like 40 points. They might put up 40-plus points, maybe 50. They might put up 30. Who knows? They might just put a 30 or a 40 burger on them. So, yeah, I'll take the Lions to win. I'll take the Lions to cover. Next game, we have the Los Angeles Rams against the San Francisco 49ers. The Rams are 5.5-point favorites against the 49ers. The Rams are coming off a big win against the Saints, and the Niners are coming off a win against the Giants. Now, this is like a division game. Now, this game right here can totally go either way. Now, last time when these two teams play, the Niners did win that game, which they pretty much did win that game in overtime, where the defense got a stop. And, the Rams so far are coming off of a win against the Saints, which that's a bad Saints team. Now, I do love the 49ers in this game, but the Rams lost to them with a bunch of backup and a practice squad team. Like, that's crazy. How did that happen? But anyways, all of a sudden, the Rams so far have the best defense in football. Like, they have a great pass rush. They can get after the quarterback. They can stop the run really well. But they're not good against the pass, though. But in my opinion, the Niners offense looks a lot more healthier than their defense because they don't have Fred Warner. They don't got Michael Williams. They don't got Nick Bosa. Like, they're depleted with some injuries on defense. But their secondary is healthy. Their running game, the Niners were able to run the ball against the Giants. That's what they were able to do. But I don't think they're going to be able to do in this game against a really good Rams pass rush. And we know the Niners have been good against the run lately and have been good against the pass. But if Robert Saleh can have a good game plan against this Rams offense, I think the Niners can find a way to win this game, though. Which they can, though. But I would not be shocked if the Niners sweep them again. I can really see them beating the Rams again. But at the same time, I think the Rams are a little bit more healthier. So I'm going to take the Rams to win because I think the Rams are a more complete team. They have the better quarterback and they're more healthier. And I just think the Rams, they pretty much, I think their offense finds a way to at least, move the ball and score. Like, I don't think nobody in that Niners secondary is going to be able to cover Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. I think they'll have a good game here. And I just really think that the Rams, they're... And I just think, Matthew Stafford's going to have all day to throw the ball, find guys wide open. So, yeah. So, I would not be shocked if the Niners beat them again. But I just don't really see how the Niners are going to be able to sweep them in one season. Because we've seen the Rams did that last year. But I just don't really see how the Rams are going to be able to... I just don't really see how the Niners are going to be able to at least beat this team twice in a row. Because they did it before, but I just don't see it happening, bro. Yeah, the game's in San Francisco where it's tough to play at, but I just think the Rams so far are just a more desperate team and more healthier. So I'm going to take the Rams to win. I will take the Niners to probably cover this game. So I'm going to take the Niners to cover 5.5. So, yeah. So I think it's going to be more of like a lower scoring game. I think both teams will score in the mid-20s. So, yeah. So I'll take the Rams to win. I'll take the Niners to cover. Next game, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are 2.5-point favorites against the Steelers. The Steelers did come off a good win against the Colts. I like how the way their defense did play against the Colts. They forced 6 turnovers. They were able to stop the run. They were able to at least kind of stop their pass game a little bit. So, yeah, and they looked pretty good offensively. But the offense really wasn't good, but the defense was really good. And all of a sudden, the Chargers so far, they're coming off of a win against the Titans. And their offensive line is dealing with some injuries, though. I mean, their running game is probably not going to be – it's probably not the same without, Hampton and Harris. And the Chargers, their offensive line is depleted with injuries, though. Now Joe Alt's going to miss time, and he's out for the season. No Rashawn Slater. Their offensive line is depleted with injuries, though. And I just don't really know that the Chargers' offense is going to be able to block against this Steelers pass rush, which I don't know if they're going to be able to do if Justin Herbert's going to be able to do that, though. Because the Steelers so far did a really good job against the Colts. And I think they can do a good job against the Chargers too, which I think their defense can hang around this game. But I feel like, the Steelers don't have a good run game, and the Chargers are a smaller defense. So this could be a mismatch, though. Maybe the Chargers defense stuffs up in this game because they're playing against the Steelers offense that's not really good. And we know they struggle to score in the red zone at times. Maybe the Chargers defense looks pretty good. So, yeah. But at the same time, I think the Steelers offense can find a way to stay balanced in this game. But I feel like the Chargers are kind of a more balanced offense, where I think they'll find a way to move the ball. They'll throw the ball. But they can run the ball as well, too, because I think the Chargers, I think their offense so far, they pretty much got a great receiving core that can really, like rip up any defense like the Steelers, like Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston, and Ladd McConkey. But at the same time, I just don't know if I can trust this Chargers offense to at least, like, dominate against the Steelers pass rush, especially against an offensive line that gave us 6 sacks to the Titans last week, which that's crazy. But anyways, though, I think the game right here could be close. I'm going to take the Chargers to win, but give me the Steelers to cover. Because I think the Steelers can do enough to hang around this game to keep this game close. But I'm going to take the Chargers to win because the game is in LA. They have the more balanced offense, and they pretty much have a more balanced defense as well. And I just really think that, they have the better quarterback. And I just really think that, they're the more complete team in this game. But would I be shocked if the Steelers won? No, but I just think the Chargers are going to find more ways to move the ball and score and all that. So, yeah, so I'm going to take the Chargers to win. I'll take the Steelers to cover. I think the Chargers are probably going to score in the 30s. I'm going to say like 30-26. Maybe like 28-26, like 28-30, something like that. More like a higher scoring game. So, yeah, so give me the Steelers with the points. Give me the Chargers to win the game. And last game, Monday Night Football, we have the Philadelphia Eagles against the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are 1.5-point favorites against the Eagles. Now, this game right here can go either way. Now, most people could be picking the Eagles to win because the Eagles are the more complete team. Now, we did hear some news that the Eagles are going to get healthier because, they're coming off a bye and have extra time to prepare, which they are getting healthier on offense. And they're getting healthier on defense as well, too, which they're getting Nolan Smith back. They did trade for Jalen Phillips, which their pass rush will be better. And, they do have, and getting A.J. Brown back could totally help this offense. But I feel like the only way the Eagles can win this game is that if their passing game and their running off and their rush offense dominates against the Packers defense. But the Packers got a really good pass rush, and they'll find a way to stop the run and get after the quarterback. And we know Jalen Hurts likes to hold onto the ball so long. He's probably going to take a few sacks. And we know the Packers, their secondary, like, they don't play a lot of man. They play a lot of zone. Because, the Eagles do have a great secondary too, and they're good against the pass as well. Because if the Packers offensively can beat their defense and their defense can dominate this game, I think there's a chance Green Bay wins. But the only way the Eagles can win this game is that if their Eagles, if their offense, finds a way to dominate in this game, and then if their defense dominates. But I don't know if I can really see it, though, because the Packers, they don't got Tucker Kraft, and we know Matthew Golden could be out. So the Packers could be missing half of their offensive weapons. So they're going to have to rely on, like, Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs, and they're going to have to rely on, like, their backup tight end, Luke Musgrave. So, yeah, to step up. So, yeah. So, I think the Packers can stay balanced offensively, but I don't think both teams are going to be able to run the ball as much because, as we all said, they both got a top defense in football. We know the Packers, they're good against the run and they're good against the pass. And the Eagles so far, they're like 18 against the pass and 19 against the run. And their offense is like almost ranked 20th as well. But their offense so far has not been looking good. But yeah, they've been improving the passing game really well. So yeah, trust me, against that bye week, their run game was really good, and then all of a sudden the pass game fell apart because the Eagles' passing game was really good for a couple weeks ago until the Eagles started to get their run game going against the Giants. So if the Eagles can get their run game going, I think they'll find a way to win this game. But I think this game will be a lot closer than we expected. Now, it could be a lower scoring game, but I'm going to take the Packers to win, to get back on track and win this game after coming off of a brutal loss against the Panthers. I think the Packers get back on track here and win this game because I think the Packers are the more complete team. I feel like the Packers, defense can find a way to dominate in this game. And I just think offensively they'll find a way to stay balanced and all that, and they'll find a way to move the football. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Packers to win. I'll take the Eagles to cover to keep it close. I'm probably going to say the Packers win like 27-23 or like 30-27, like 27-26, something like that, 28-27. I think the Packers can like score and I think it could be more of a lower scoring game, but I'm going to take Green Bay to win, and I'm going to take Green Bay to cover. I'll take Philly to cover to keep this game close because I think the Eagles are going to hang around this game. Both teams will probably struggle to score in the 30s, like who knows. So, yeah, I will take Philly to cover, but I'll take the Packers to win. But would I be shocked if Philly won? No, but I just have a feeling the Packers will win because they're at home in this game. And playing Lambeau is tough place to play at. That's pretty much why I think Green Bay will win. Well, those are all my Week 10 picks for this week. Thank you guys for watching. If you disagree with me, just let me know in the comments section below what you think of your Week 10 predictions. Like, do you think I'm going to be right? Do you think I'm going to be wrong? Like, just let me know in the comments section below who you got winning this week. Well, thank you guys for watching this video. Feel free to like and subscribe to my channel, and you can see all my videos and view them. So, yeah. So, this is again Emmanuel Jones, a big fan. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Peace.